In this video, it's iPad 4 versus the old iPad 3. So this is just going to be a very quick comparison between the new iPad 4th gen and the iPad 3rd gen. It is mainly a spec update as they physically look exactly the same. The major difference you'll notice is on the 4th gen, it has the new Lightning connector, whereas on the iPad 3 or 3rd gen iPad, you'll notice that it has the 30-pin dock connector. And also I'll just mention the iPad 3 has a case on it. So the first major change is the new connector on the 4th generation iPad. Next major difference is a new front-facing camera. The iPad 4 has a front-facing 1.3 megapixel 720p camera, whereas the old iPad 3 has a 0.3 megapixel VGA camera on the front. On the back, they both feature 5 megapixel iSight cameras, and they are the exact same in quality. If you would like to see the quality of the cameras on the iPad 4, check out my channel, youtube.com/iTechEverything, as I have done a camera quality test on these new cameras. But as I say, the back cameras on these are both the exact same, it's just this has a better front camera. Talking about specs of the devices, the iPad 3 has an A5X dual-core processor with a gigabyte of RAM, and the iPad 4 has an A6X processor with a gig of RAM. Now, I've done a benchmark test of the iPad 4 on my channel, but I'll just show you it in this video anyway. So as you can see, the iPad 4 has a Geekbench score of 1770, whereas the iPad 3 has a Geekbench score of 758. So that is roughly 1,000 points difference. So the new iPad does indeed have near double the performance of the iPad 3. And I will say, just testing out the new iPad and comparing it to this one, the new one definitely does seem a lot snappier. As you can see, it just opened up Temple Run a little faster over on the 4th generation iPad. But just in general, I've noticed that the iPad 4 does run smoother than the iPad 3. So once again, just to recap the differences. Different connector, better front-facing camera, and faster processor. Those are all the differences. It is the exact same weight, exact same screen, exact same everything else. One quick last thing to mention in the new iPad is that it has faster Wi-Fi apparently than this one. So let's go ahead and test that out. We'll go on to apple.com.au. Go. Interestingly enough, the iPad 3 loaded the page faster. So I guess it depends really, but I have heard that this one has some sort of better Wi-Fi chip in it or something like that. And just something interesting that I found out, the new iPad 4 comes with a 12-watt power adapter, whereas the iPad 3rd generation comes with a 10-watt power adapter, as you can see right there. So this is just a guess, but the iPad 4 may need more power because it comes with a 12-watt power adapter, whereas the iPad 3rd gen only came with a 10-watt. So yeah, if you have one of these, I would not recommend upgrading. Wait out till the next version of the iPad, as I don't think the differences are big enough to warrant that, unless you really want the HD camera on the front, or if you really want a little bit of extra performance out of your iPad. So anyway guys, that's it for iPad 4 versus iPad 3. Stay tuned for plenty more videos on the iPad 4th generation and the iPad mini. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up, as I really appreciate it. Go ahead and drop a comment down below. Click subscribe right above this video, and follow me on Twitter over at twitter.com/iTechEverything.